The Lincoln Project, and all the never-Trump conservatives, won't just meekly accept that their brand of republicanism is actually what created Donald Trump. They won't sheepishly fade into the background, suddenly realizing the follies of their ways. In fact, they'll just use their new position of being friendly with Democrats and the resistance to try to push them further to the right. In fact, they've been getting a lot of positive attention from the liberal resistance, like from MSNBC. Here's a montage by the Colbert Report in a real chill interview they had with Lincoln Project's Rick Wilson.
I don't give money to political organizations. I've given money to Lincoln Project because of ads like this.
The Lincoln Project is like watching a Jay-Z Nas rap battle. I mean, they don't let up on this president.
I want the Democrats to pay attention to the Lincoln Project. They're doing a superb job.
The Lincoln Project, those are good commercials.
Rick, how rewarding is it to win over the people you've demonized your entire career?
The result will probably be something similar to what this analysis on 538 found about never-Trumpers back in May. That never-Trumpers are increasingly involved in the Democratic Party and have gradually shifted their tactics in that direction, effectively becoming a never-Trump and never-Bernie Sanders coalition. And they appear to be having more success shaping their new party than the one that many of them had been associated with for much of their lives. According to the analysis, never-Trump conservatives have entrenched themselves in the Democratic Party by becoming overrepresented in the media, by allying with centrist Democrats, and by forming a faction in the Democratic Party that may actually be able to sway Democrats to the right. And hey, it's very intentional. A leading never-Trump activist, frequent MSNBC guest, director of Republican Voters Against Trump, and cool dude who worked on Jeb Bush's campaign, Tim Miller, bragged about what he claimed was the never-Trumper influence over the election. Sorry, let me be more specific. Over the Democratic primary election. Miller said, one group that really mattered in the primaries were the high-information voters, the people who watch MSNBC, listen to The Daily. A lot of these people went from Harris to Warren to Buttigieg and finally landed on Biden. For these voters, it was all an assessment of who could defeat Trump. For them, we never-Trumpers have a unique experience and insight. Counterpoint on never-Trumpers having a unique insight on who can defeat Trump, this photo, followed by this photo. Another never-Trumper, former CIA operative, former Republican, and independent in the 2016 presidential campaign, Evan McMullin said, quote, "Our message before and during the early primary elections was that principled conservatives and Republicans were a winnable bloc and could provide the decisive votes in general election swing states as long as Democrats didn't nominate a divisive far-left candidate. Appropriately, Democratic voters prioritized replacing Trump in 2020 above other issues." Now, we don't know if the claims the never-Trumpers are making that they influenced the Democratic primary are true, but we do know they were featured heavily on MSNBC. And literally, here's Senate Minority Leader Chuck Schumer giving away the entire game.
For every blue-collar Democrat we will lose in Western PA, we will pick up 2, 3 moderate Republicans in the suburbs of Philadelphia. And you can repeat that in Ohio and Illinois and Wisconsin.
Now, the problem with this is, well, there are actually a few problems, dozens possibly, but here are at least a couple. First is that the never-Trump elites, such as the founders of the Lincoln Project, aren't the same as regular voters who are turning against Trump, whether they're independents, Republicans, or former Trump voters. Independents tend to be more anti-establishment, according to Pew Research, who found that independents feel more negatively about political candidates and parties than partisans. So you can't assume that the extremely establishment Republican Lincoln Project actually represents independent voters, especially independents who possibly voted for Trump in 2016 in a misguided attempt to pick a political outsider, who now might feel duped. Because they were. In fact, the Lincoln Project even admits that it's only trying to turn out a single-digit percentage of the electorate of Republicans, Republican-leaning independents against Trump, which is, it's fine. But maybe we should reconsider how much influence we should give them over the Democratic Party. Like how our never-Trumper friend Tim Miller hopes Biden doesn't listen to the left, saying, quote, I don't want him, Biden, to make crazy sacrifices to the left that he doesn't need to make. Cool, Tim Miller. Why should we care about what you want? Your party created Donald Trump. And because you're a very smart boy, you want Democrats to listen to you and become the new, hip Republican Party that still does wars and f***s over poor people, but at least does it without a fake tan? The Lincoln Project spends most of its money on themselves, but the part that they spend on the actual operation, it's mostly like online ads. Not a lot of TV ads targeting folks in Wisconsin or Michigan, because the goal here, the project, is to ingratiate themselves with the liberal elites, get their money, and yes, Trump bad, no more Trump, but when Trump gone, more things that led to Trump. Wow, what a clip that was from the show. Thanks for watching, and make sure to subscribe to this channel as well as our other channel where the full episodes are. It's called Some More News. This is called Some More News Clips, which you know because you just watched it. Anyway,